Hi, I'm Lori Flackett of Soltar Solutions, and I'm here today on Focus Forward, live with Lori, with an absolutely astounding guest. I'm so thrilled to be able to introduce you to him. He's world renowned for selling on Amazon, in that Amazon and online marketing world. So I am really pleased and excited to interview and be able to introduce you to Will Tjernlund. So Will, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon down here in Buenos Aires today, so it's nice to escape the heat and talk to you for a bit.
Escaping the heat is not an issue I'm having here in Minnesota. It's a beautiful sunny day here, but I cannot tell you how cold it is. I went out yesterday and I almost froze my face, so I'm not going out today. All plans have been canceled, and I'm so glad that I'm able to catch up with you. So Will, tell us a little bit, first of all, give us a little insight into the lifestyle you're leading now.
Well, I've been successful enough selling on Amazon, and I've kind of thought out the process enough that I can now do my whole entire job location independent. And so I don't have to be tied down to anywhere, and I have all the processes in place and the employees in place and all that kind of stuff where I can easily run my Amazon business without touching my inventory, or without having to have a physical location.
Wow, that sounds great. So tell us a little bit about maybe how you got involved in Amazon. I know you have tons of videos out there about it, but just give us a little snippet on how you got involved.
Well, my brother started selling online around like 2003, 2004. And so I was only 13, 14 at the time. And he was buying from China and selling on eBay at the time because Amazon wasn't very popular. And basically at a young age, I kind of just saw how possible it was to make money online. And so even when I was 16 and I was working at a Target store, I would go and buy out the whole entire stock of PlayStation 3s when they get in stock, and then go and sell them on eBay since it was a hot Christmas item. And I knew that I could get a pretty good price for them. And so even then I was doing little kind of entrepreneurial things. I had a bunch of little businesses throughout high school. But yeah, once I graduated college, I started selling on Amazon full time. So that was about 3 years ago.
Wow, that's great. So tell us a little bit, give us a little insight into kind of like the numbers that you've done on Amazon, just to give people an idea.
Well, I've sold over $10 million on Amazon. I've sourced over 2,000 different products. I was working with my brother out of college for the first couple years. And then recently I kind of branched out off on my own and started my own Amazon seller account, kind of started from scratch all over again. But this time, like I mentioned earlier, I did it with the focus of being location independent. And so I kind of built the business that my brother and I had, again, from the ground up, but with a few tweaks here and there.
Okay, awesome. So do you believe, after you've had this experience, do you believe that there's still money to be made on Amazon?
Oh yeah, of course. It's the silliest thing I ever hear is when people say that Amazon's too saturated or you can't make money on Amazon anymore, because I'll just continue stacking my millions while they sit there and be a hater.
Stacking those millions. I love it.
Mm.
Okay, so question. What do you think is the number one thing that holds people back from getting involved on Amazon?
I think this is one of the biggest things I had going for me in the beginning, was that I was young, fearless, and dumb. And so when I started selling my private label products when I was still in college and private labeling stuff, I didn't really think anything bad could happen. I kind of just was like, oh, okay, worst case scenario, like the product's not great and I have to like throw it away or something. But when I do consulting with people who are a lot older than me, it's that they've been burned too many times in life on different business experiences, different relationships, all these different things where they're much more apprehensive and they're more trying to always figure out what's going to go wrong and trying to kind of predict ahead of time what's going to go wrong, opposed to just kind of like learning as you run.
So when looking at that, since you brought up what can go wrong, like what's the worst thing that could happen on Amazon?
Well, it depends. If you do not do it correctly, the worst thing that can happen is, yeah, you buy a bunch of products that are duds and go and hurt a bunch of people. Like that's obviously the worst case scenario, but I usually start with very small order sizes and kind of work my way up. And so I really try to minimize risks, and I try to make it so like I constantly have what's the worst case scenario kind of running through my brain. And 99 times out of 100, I can always at least liquidate my products for break even. And so the worst case scenario is I don't make any money, but it's a learning experience.
Okay, great. And so so people, you think the number one thing is that you're working with business owners who have been in business for many years that are older and they're more skeptical or maybe frightened about what could go wrong.
Yeah, when I explain to people all the time that I just buy stuff from China, send it directly to Amazon, never touch it, and just collect a paycheck, and they handle customer service, returns, shipping, all that kind of stuff. People either think that I'm lying, or they think there's a catch, or they ask me, I get this question all the time, is that even legal? Where it's like, obviously that person doesn't even understand how the world works, because they're like, well, how can you buy something for $5 and sell it for 10? Is that even legal? And it's like, well, obviously that's how the whole world works. So it's like the kind of questions I get, they're never actually like questions that stump me. They're always questions where it's like, okay, so you're just trying to find a way to make this not possible. You're not actually interested in my business. You just want to be a hater kind of thing. And if you have that kind of opinion and that kind of attitude about life, that kind of just shows that where it gets you.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So the other question I have is, what do you think, like people who are interested in doing Amazon, I get a lot of questions, we sell peanut brittle on Amazon and I sell a bunch of other products. And I meet a lot of people that are selling their wares, one-on-one at fairs and festivals and even in retail locations. And they always ask me, how do you do it? And I'm just saying, you basically start. What I did was I had somebody help me because I think it makes it a lot easier because there's so many little technical things in Amazon. And there's also ways that you put your descriptions in that actually promote sales. And there's ways to put your description in that you never, your product never even, basically sees the light of day. So it's really important to have guidance with that. But a lot of people, they listen, they are interested, but they don't seem to take a step forward. I mean, have you experienced that?
That's all I experience. Not me personally, but it's with people I coach and the consulting I do. It's 99% of people like want to tell people they have a business, want to pretend like they're working on a business, but when it really comes down to the business type stuff, they don't want anything to do with it. And at that point, I've fired too many clients where I just said, okay, well, you're wasting my time and yours because you don't actually want this business. You just want the idea of this business.
I feel that most people, because it's complicated and it is complex, they like the idea of it, but when it actually comes to taking action and figuring it out or having somebody figure it out, they'll even pay the money and then not even go near it. I mean, I don't know if you experience.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that it's not really complex. Yeah, I'm buying something for one price, selling it for another. The problem is that a lot of smart people try to overcomplicate it, where they go, oh, it can't be that easy. You can't just buy it for $5, sell it for 10. You must have to get this paperwork. You must have to get this importing license. Or you must have to get this. And it's like, no. Quit overthinking it. Just get going. And then I have these like 5-figure and like 6-figure problems, where it's like 5-figure problem is until you've sold 5 figures worth of stuff, don't even worry about taxes. Don't even worry about your LLC. Don't even worry about that stuff, because that's just roadblocks. That's just going to keep people from getting started. You can always pay back those taxes on that $10,000 in sales. It won't be that much, that sales tax and all that kind of stuff. But people use that as a reason not to get started, and it always frustrates me. Same with like patents and trademarks. Those are 6- and 7-figure problems. If you haven't sold $500,000 worth of your product, no one wants to steal it anyway. So don't waste your time worrying about patents. Worry about getting to that 5-6-figure mark.
Oh, that's great advice. That's great advice, really. So tell us a little bit about, for me, I just started selling on Amazon, and I was one of those people that thought, I don't know that it can really be this easy and this lucrative. I mean, that was me, but I still got involved. I still said, all right, I'm going to dive in. And I dove in, my sister dove in. She sells directly to Amazon, which is a completely different ball game. And she's
Hmm.
doing very well with her product. I sell the product through fulfillment by Amazon, and I'm doing well. My problem isn't selling the product, it's getting enough of the product to Amazon. That's been my problem, not sales. So the problem is with my being able to fulfill enough that they can sell. And that's why I'm interested in learning to source from China. That's something that I'm very, looking at it every day. So in my situation, I've sold, a few $1,000s, probably $10,000 on Amazon, but it's just 2 months. So, I mean, that's not bad when you think of it.
No, at least you sold something in 2 months. Many people can't even say that.
I know. I sold something. And, some people, they register for Amazon and they sell one product a year. So I at least have my store.
Yeah.
I have like 50 products in my store, which isn't a lot, but, there are 50 products that are moving. So question, how would somebody go from where I am to say the next step? What is the next step and how would I get there?
Well, there's not just one next step. This is kind of something that is an overarching theme that I try to tell people, is that there's not one way to build a business. There's not one course that's going to teach you how to do it. There's not one roadmap that's going to say do X, Y, and Z, and then you'll have a successful business. Everyone has different competitive advantages in life, and everyone has to use that to the fullest. You were saying that you have like a peanut butter brittle company. It's like that's the kind of competitive advantage that you took full advantage of and took it to the Amazon marketplace. And so everyone has this little thing or skill or niche that they're good at. But there's two ways of basically really taking your business to the next level. That's something that's repeatable and something that can kind of run itself. And one is, finding a super low competition niche, like equestrian accessories, yachting accessories, stuff for your RV, like these weird things that you don't think there'd be a big market for. But if you take the whole country as a market, it actually is a pretty sizable market. So that's a good strategy. Another strategy too is just going out and spamming a bunch of wholesalers and a bunch of manufacturers. There's a bunch of companies out there that are between, say, $10 and $50 million a year in revenue, that if you called them up and said, hey, I got $5,000, $10,000, I'm ready to place an order today, you're a salesperson's dream. There's no way they're going to say no to you. This is like the best thing that's ever happened to them. Someone just called them and has the cash ready and wants to make a purchase on the spot. From there, you order as many different products as you can from their catalog, throw them up all on Amazon, test them out. Say if they have 1,000 different SKUs, I would throw up all 1,000 listings and just make them merchant fulfilled and kind of just see what the traffic's coming in. And then from there, once you see, hey, these 15 products out of 1,000 sell like crazy merchant fulfilled. If I fulfill them through Amazon, I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to sell them like crazy. And then from there, you sit there and look for gaps in the market that you could private label. And so say you're buying gardening accessories and they have a shovel that has a 8-inch wide blade, a 10-inch wide blade, and a 4-inch wide blade. Well, you'd go and private label a shovel that has a 6-inch wide blade because there's nothing in the market yet for that. And so then you use these existing wholesalers and these existing manufacturers that have legit businesses and sales velocity to do your market research for your private label product. And so that way you can make cash and test the market at the same time instead of just sitting there wasting your time all day on these different Amazon softwares and not getting anything done.
Brilliant. Brilliant answer. Thank you so much for that. That's really a great advice and a great way to do it. Anybody can just take that recipe right there and start making money on Amazon. It's amazing.
Yep. Yeah, it's that easy. And they go, and I get the next follow-up question is like, how do you even find these suppliers that are $10 to $50 million? And usually it's just getting lost on Amazon. I'll find some silly like US made product that has 400 reviews and it's still not fulfilled through Amazon. Something like that where it goes, ooh, there might be something there. I'm gonna go contact that manufacturer. And a lot of these manufacturers in the US, they'll have a little tab at the top of their website that just says like, become a wholesaler, ? You click that, you hit the contact me page, say, just talk big, say, hey, I'm this world-renowned e-commerce seller. I want to add your products to my huge catalog because my customers keep asking for your products, and I want to give my customers the best quality products, and I know you make the best quality products. Here's $10,000. What can I get?
Excellent. Excellent. That's great. I'm taking notes because this information is so good. So now, looking at that, you, in one of the interviews that I saw, you talked about the future, what you believe the future of Amazon, or you alluded to what you believe the future of Amazon is, or the future of even e-commerce. Can you give us a little bit of insight into your prediction of the future?
Well, future for the next, say, 5 to 10 years, I think that the competitive products are going to become more and more competitive and just going to basically turn into commodities. And so everyone who kind of mom and pop shops, people selling out of their garage, anyone who wants to be competitive is really going to have to niche down and really either add value through finding like a very weird niche, or add value by actually creating a new product. But then in an even longer term, say 10 to 15 years, basically, I just see Amazon sourcing everything themselves and selling everything themselves. Amazon just got the approval to become a sea freight company like 2 days ago. And so Amazon's soon going to be just like shipping things on their own ships. And so it's just eventually Amazon's going to kind of try to take over the same business model that Walmart did, where they try to own every little part of the distribution channel, try to get as many pennies squeezed out as possible to get as much profit margin and lower price for the customers as possible.
Okay, so what do you see for people like yourself and maybe like myself? Say I grow my Amazon business, say I'm selling 4, 5, 6, 10 million a year on Amazon in 5 years. What do you see as a way that I can switch my business model so I'm still making money, even if Amazon has taken over and is, sourcing everything themselves? What could I do?
Well, that's where you're going to have to shift your business model in one of two ways. Hopefully by then you actually have some sort of unique products or something that actually makes you different. You're not just selling a bunch of unbranded junk. But at that point, there's two ways you can do it. You can either go and switch over to Vendor Central and start selling your branded stuff and your nice, like, quality new products that actually add value directly to Amazon. Or you can start now putting little like flyers and little like business cards with your website and all that kind of stuff on all your products, and try to slowly start moving your customers over to your own standalone e-commerce site. Because then you can sit there and retarget them. You can sit there and have your own email list, and then you don't have to depend as much on the big Amazon machine.
Okay. All right. So that's great advice. Thank you for that. When do you think that kind of strategy should start?
Right now, the Vendor Central or the creating your own e-commerce site?
Both.
The Vendor Central, it really only helps in very unique circumstances, either where the buy box has become too competitive, or when you can take advantage of Amazon's greed because you can source something that Amazon can't. That's when Vendor Central makes the most sense. But if you're going to start promoting your own e-commerce site, I would start doing that today. There's no reason not to.
Okay, awesome. That's great advice. So now, when you look at it, what do you think, for instance, let's roll back to, first of all, I want to thank you for giving me so much great information, because I know that you sell that information as a consultant. So basically, I feel like, what?
Well, it's kind of, I don't really, the way we sell information is we do it more on like a one-on-one thing. And we do like, hey, how much capital do you have? Where do you want to be in a couple years? How much time do you want to spend? Do you want to quit your job? And then we kind of formulate a game plan for each individual person. And so this is kind of general advice, and this isn't the kind of advice that I usually sell. So it's like, I'm open to give this to anyone. This is kind of just common sense to my brain.
Okay. Well, your common sense is really helping me see things in a new way. And I'm sure it's helping my viewers as well. So that's great. When do you think, so for even for an entrepreneur, when do you think the best time for them to get involved with Amazon is? Because I know a lot of people are waiting to get on board. When do you think the best time is?
Yesterday. There's no reason. It's like one of these things where like people like to make it this big mountain out of it and pretend like it's this big thing that they're going to have to tackle and they should put all these plans in place and all this crap. Go and buy some generic product off AliExpress today and go send it into Amazon, say a week later when you get it. And just do that, say 50 more times until you become numb to the sourcing and the listing process. So it's not this big monster. And then you can actually think clearly about your Amazon business. But when you have these like pent up anxieties about your business, you can't really get anything done.
Well, one of the things that really helped me was to have help. Somebody who took me through the process, step by step, showed me do this, list it like this. Because for me, it's complicated. For my brain, it's complicated. But when I had somebody actually show me the steps and then go back and look and say, okay, make these adjustments, make those adjustments here, there, I was able to sell like right away. Like I was shocked. I was shocked that 2 months I was able to do such a great business. I mean, I just couldn't believe that it could happen to me. That's straight out the bottom line on it. I just didn't believe it. I thought I was late to the game. I thought I wasn't going to be able to choose right. I mean, there were so many different things that I was thinking. I just said, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And I was shocked with the result.
Well, it's kind of depressing to me that there's people out there who don't have businesses and don't have freedom in life because they don't believe in themselves enough. That couldn't be more depressing to me, honestly, that it's like someone's working a job that they hate and going every day, not making the money they deserve, all because that somewhere along the line, someone told them that you're not smart enough to have your own business. And luckily I was young and naive enough that I just didn't trust anyone. And I still have my parents and stuff don't really fully get what I do, and they don't really fully like support it, but it's like, whatever, I'll just keep moving forward. They'll figure it out eventually.
You know, it's funny because my mother is 87 and she's all the time talking, because my sister and I are both involved in Amazon. And my mother's always talking about Amazon. Did you sell anything on Amazon today? How'd it go on Amazon? What's going on with Amazon? She's so interested, but she's been an entrepreneur her whole life. But she's so interested in the concept of it. She's like, I wish I was younger. She said, so I could understand these things. But she's really interested in that point of sale. And then the other thing is she's involved in our business when we go and we do events. My mother is misbehaving. She's in the rocking chair, handing out samples of peanut brittle, chatting people up. And she sees on the look on people's face when they say, oh, you're on Amazon? Because it's right on our label. And then they'll buy things from us directly, but then they'll go and they'll buy more on Amazon. So we see the spikes every day. We see the spikes on our Amazon. It's so amazing. So our business is really cyclical, because when they see that we're selling on Amazon, it gives them credibility. We now have credibility with them. They're like, oh, you sell on Amazon? You must be the real deal. And then they'll go and they'll pay more on Amazon to get our product. And then they'll give reviews because they know us personally. So it's helped so much having that point of purchase and also the Amazon.
Yeah, I hate talking to customers more than anything. That's why I love Amazon. And so I try to do as little of that as possible. But I do what you said, like the Amazon legitimacy. There's a bunch of wholesale accounts when I talk to people who are just so clueless and have no idea how the world works, where I say, like, I can get you on Amazon if you trust me. And they go, oh my gosh, you can get us on Amazon? It's like, well, yeah, anyone can get you on Amazon. But the way you phrase things, it's people will kind of get, wow, okay, well, yeah. It's like if I told somebody I could get them in Walmart, they'd be like, wow, really? It's like same kind of experience for some people, not realizing you can just click the button that says sell your own on Amazon too.
Yeah, it's amazing though that people assume, we're often with vendors, there'll be 400-600 vendors at these events that we're at. And when they see it on Amazon, when they see our label and it says sold on Amazon, they're like, oh, you sell on Amazon? Even the other vendors, they come over there like, oh, you're on Amazon? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, how's it going? It's going really well. We sell usually on a regular basis 3 or 4 times more than we sell here.
Well, yeah,
And,
that
and
at that point, I would just go to all those vendors and say, okay, well, I'm going to become your wholesaler and sell your stuff directly to Amazon too.
that's a brilliant idea. That's a
Why
great
not?
idea. That's awesome. Boy, would that be a nice revenue stream. So, I talked to you about an event that we have coming up called the Amazon Explosion, and that is going to be in two different places. We're going to be doing it here in St. Paul, Minnesota, March 4th through the 6th, where we're going to take everybody through the concept of selling on Amazon, the actual setting up the account, the sourcing. We're going to take them to the Mall of America, which I know you've been to many times, the Mall of America, and we're going to teach them which products would be good for Amazon, which products not so much. So they're going to be able to see the sourcing, purchase products. We're going to pack the products. We're going to show them how to ship the products, everything. It's going to be soup to nuts. They're going to start on Friday morning, and Sunday afternoon, they're going to have products that are being sent to Amazon on Monday morning. So it's going to be full scale. And I asked you if you were possibly available to come in and do a small talk at the end of our event on Sunday afternoon. Are you going to be able to make that, do you think?
Hopefully, I'm going to be just getting off a plane from Las Vegas, so I might be a little tired. But besides that, yeah, I should be able to muster up enough energy to get up there and kind of spread some facts with some people.
That would be great, because I think them being able to see you in person and shake your hand after listening to you is going to give them the understanding and the power to know that they can do it. I mean, I almost fainted when I'm like, a guy in White Bear Lake, like 15 minutes from where I live? How can this be?
No, yeah, I've with all the different webinars and podcasts and all that stuff on, I've probably met up with maybe 40 different Amazon sellers within the Twin Cities area. So they're everywhere.
Well, I want to meet up with more of them. The other thing is, when I put the call out on Harrow that you responded to, I found it really interesting that I had so many people respond to it, but not a lot of people are actually selling. Yes, they have their account, but they're like, well, yeah, I put stuff up on Amazon, and I really, I haven't sold anything. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, well, did you just do it? Well, I've been on for 6 months. And so I had that experience actually more times than I had people respond that they sold a lot on Amazon. So I think that there are issues with listing, or maybe it's the products, or maybe the categories they went in. But I found it very interesting that I had sold more at just starting, had sold more, much more than they had. So I don't know.
I think with some people, they try to treat it more like a passion project than a business. And so they go, I'm really into dogs, so I'm going to sell a dog leash. And they don't even think about the competition. They don't think about how they're going to differentiate themselves. They don't think about the pricing. They don't think about any of those things. They go, I like dogs, I'm going to sell dog leashes. Where my brother and I only sell stuff basically that I would have to explain to you what it is, because it's so weird. And it's like none of the stuff I use myself or anything like that, because all I'm looking for is margin and gaps in the market. I'm looking for the highest ratio of margin to low competition. And I don't really worry about if there's going to be demand or what the sales velocity is going to be, because Amazon is so big that everything sells on Amazon. So as long as you can get on the first page, it will sell. And so that's all it is that it basically comes down to two things in Amazon. It's getting on the first page, and then once you're on the first page, differentiating yourself through either price, size, color, material, and giving the customer a reason to pick yours over everyone else's on the first page.
Well, what I notice with my stuff is I'm really good at photography, and my photographs look great. And I look at some of these photographs and I'm like, really? Those are the photographs? I don't know. But my photographs, I make sure my photographs look really nice, really inviting. I take a lot of photographs, and I have a way to shoot photography that's much easier than most people. And that's another thing that I'm going to be teaching people, is how they can do photographs that look great with just even a point and shoot, but that look great and look professional. And I think that the photographs make a big difference, because I know myself, I don't want to buy anything that doesn't look good.
Well, I stand over my parents' shoulder as they shop on Amazon because I get stuck in this Amazon bubble and kind of I'm always worried about like the Amazon algorithm and how is the keywords going to show up and all this stuff. And my mom and dad don't think about that for a second. They don't even look at the reviews really. If it has like, as long as it's not like 1 out of 5 stars, they don't really care. They just type in what they want, scroll up and down the first page a couple times, and then click on the prettiest one. And so if you have the prettiest picture, that's like easily enough right there can get people to buy it.
Yeah, I think that it's really about having a great picture, having a lot of pictures, and also, there are tricks that I've used that I've been taught about the description. So when I put my description in, I'm really careful. I want to paint a picture for the customer so they can feel they have an emotional relationship with what I'm selling. And that's another thing that I think makes a difference. Great picture, good price, nice product, and then a description that really gives them an emotional charge.
I disagree with you on this point.
Okay.
I would say about 1 out of 1,000 sellers read the description, and about 1 out of 100 can even find it on the page. They hide it. Amazon, their whole entire page for a product is an A/B test, and they constantly are moving around the buttons, seeing what converts the best. And there's a reason why the description is hidden. It's because no one reads it. And so the description and the bullet points are only there basically to kind of incite the Amazon search algorithm. And then from there, your pictures are trying to get the emotional response from the buyer. So it's one appealing to the Amazon algorithm, another one to appeal to the buyer, and you have to kind of blend the two together in a nice way. And so when me and my brother were selling different like hardware tools, the bullet points actually make a difference because people want to make sure it's a 1 horsepower engine. People want to make sure it's a 10-inch opening. All those kind of things are really important. But if you're selling like a baking sheet, no one really cares about perfectly beautiful handmade aluminum, non-stick to make sure none of your cookies are, these are kind of just silliness stuff. It's like, no one's gonna be like, oh, finally I found one that's non-stick. They all say non-stick. That's not kind of how people buy. And so like, it really depends product by product. And that's why it's hard for me to give general advice, because with some products, I could see how if you're selling a kit on how to sew your own dress, the description would be everything, because you really want to get down to details because people are really going to be researching and looking into that. But if I'm selling, say, 24 packs of bottles of Coke, the description is literally only there to rank in Amazon search. No one's going to read my description ever and go, well, that's not the Coke I know. So it's this kind of thing where it's really product by product. And so you just got to really kind of get in the mind of Amazon's algorithm and really get in the mind of the potential buyer and kind of blend the two together. Because when we're selling hardware stuff to 55 to 65-year-old males, the picture doesn't really matter as much. It's all about the specs. It's all about getting really down and dirty of exactly what comes with it, what bolt sizes they are, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, when you're selling a sewing kit, it's going to be a lot more about the flowery wording because you're going to be selling to a totally different customer.
Well, what I normally sell the most of on Amazon are gift baskets. And
that totally makes sense. What I'm just saying that if in gift baskets, I would say that's like one of the few products where like description actually would matter.
Okay.
Because people want to know exactly what's in it and all that kind of stuff. But if I'm selling a leather wallet, what can I even say about it? It's like, oh, genuine leather. Okay, everyone says that. You know what I'm saying? It's like all these kind of big buzzwords that everyone else can be using and don't really differentiate yourself.
Well, I really want to thank you for bringing that up because I haven't sold things like wrenches or wallets or things like that. What I sell are things that I really love, and I make the baskets and create the baskets and then I send them in. So when somebody's purchasing a product like a gift, they want to have an emotional connection. And when I write an emotionally connecting description, it works. However, if I were selling, which I hope to do eventually, things like, I'm not saying wrenches because I don't know anything about that, but things that I would know about that people would purchase on a regular basis, like maybe baking pans, for instance, I wouldn't be as concerned about it. So that's really a good point that you make. I really appreciate that. So look at at what it is, and then that's going to help you to determine how important those features that you're putting on Amazon are. So thank you for that.
Yeah, because it drives me nuts when I get to hear these general rules of thumb where it goes, you have to have at least 10 reviews, or you have to use all 8 pictures or whatever. And it's like, if you're selling a baking sheet, there really is no reason to have 8 pictures of it. How many different angles can you take of it? Like 4 will probably be enough, kind of thing. And then someone will say, well, you only have 8 pictures. Well, you're not even optimizing. It's like, well, like what do you, no reason to like overkill it, kind of thing. And when you're making hundreds of listings at a time, like my brother and I have done, it's not having to upload an extra 4 pictures per listing can really save you a lot of time. And then if it starts selling like crazy, or you keep seeing the same questions over and over again and they can be solved in a picture, then upload another picture, kind of thing. But it's all about kind of getting the product out there as fast as possible, seeing what the customers say about it, and then tweaking it to your advantage.
So that's great. It's great advice. So, Will, I really want to thank you for being with us. So just give us some idea about like your perfect client for your consulting business. Who are they? Where would we find them? And how would they necessarily contact you?
My perfect client is someone who's doing between, say, $10 and $50 million online. I mean, it's $10 to $50 million in sales, and they want someone to take them online. Those are the best clients for me. I can just upload the listings, upload the pictures. They start getting sales immediately. It's easy for me, and they can be doing $1 million in sales their first month because they already have this large business. And basically, I go in and do stuff like that, or I'll go in and I'll solve problems for people where they have 50 different people selling their product online on Amazon. Everyone's competing for the buy box and driving the price down. And this will drive all their brick and mortar accounts crazy, because the price on Amazon will be half the price they can sell in their store. And so people will come there and go, well, why would I buy from you when it's only $20 on Amazon and it's $40 in the store? Because they have to pay for health insurance of employees, they have to pay for overhead, they have to pay for all the warehouse rent, all that kind of stuff. And so I will go in there and I will find out who the people are selling on Amazon, cut them off, have the company only sell themselves on Amazon, and jack up the price to make sure they keep all their brick and mortar accounts happy. And then at that point, not only are they making more money on Amazon, the company, because they get this crazy profit margin because it's overpriced on Amazon, but then they keep all their legacy accounts still intact.
Brilliant, brilliant advice. And then how can companies in that range contact you?
Twitter is usually the easiest. I'm pretty illiterate and I can't really read or write, and so Twitter is the easiest for me because 144 characters. So at WTJERN. I have an email, williamtjernlund@gmail.com. I don't know, Google me, you'll find me somewhere.
Yeah, you're not hard to find, I gotta say.
No. Yeah, you'll find me somewhere.
In fact, I spent a few days watching your videos and listening to your podcast, and I was really excited when and also honored when you were able. You said yes, you'll give me the interview, and it's just been great. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, like you said, yeah, I'm easy enough to find. My last name is pretty damn unique, so it should be easy enough to find me through Google.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being on today. Have a wonderful day. How are you spending the afternoon?
I'm about to take a little siesta and then probably go have a couple beers and have some dinner.
Well, you enjoy. Thanks so much, and you have a great day.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Bye-bye now.